Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about some of the oldest life on Earth, bacteria. And what's wild is they don't have brains, right? But they are making these unbelievably complex decisions every single second of their existence.
So let's dive right into that microscopic world. How on earth do they do it? We're going to uncover the incredible genetic algorithms these tiny organisms use to solve constant life-or-death problems. All right, so a bacterium basically has three massive problems on its plate. First, where's the energy coming from? Second, how do I fight off invaders? And third, how do I deal with all the random chaos happening inside my own system? Survival means making the absolute perfect call every single time.
So let's tackle that first one, the energy crisis. Look, imagine you've got your favorite food right there in front of you. For a bacterium, that's glucose. Why in the world would you waste a ton of energy building a whole new set of complicated tools just to eat some backup food, like lactose? Well, you wouldn't, and neither does a bacterium. It's way too smart for that.
And the solution they came up with is it's this beautiful piece of genetic programming that scientists figured out way back in the 1960s. It's called the lac operon, and honestly, it is an absolute masterpiece of efficiency.
Yeah, you can really think of it like a smart switch, or maybe a smart thermostat for the cell's entire metabolism. Its whole job is to make sure the bacterium only cranks out those special lactose-digesting enzymes when it is absolutely necessary. No wasted energy. It's just pure, simple logic.
And this right here, this shows you the core logic. It's like a system that needs two different keys to unlock. So for that lactose-digesting factory to even think about turning on, not only does lactose have to be there to remove the first lock, but the preferred food, glucose, has to be gone. It's only then that the second key turns and boom, the system powers up at full blast.
Okay, so the bacterium has its lunch menu all sorted out. Smart. But what about problem number two? Bacteria are under relentless attack from these tiny viruses called phages. So how do they fight back?
Well, they evolved something truly revolutionary. It's a defense system that works kind of like a genetic immune system. And this is the key part. It has a memory. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. It's called CRISPR. So here's the crucial thing, right? CRISPR lets a bacterium survive an attack, remember its enemy, and then pass that immunity down to its offspring. It's an adaptive, heritable defense system. It learns.
And it works in these three just beautifully simple stages. First, the cell literally captures a mugshot of the invading virus's DNA. Then it creates a kind of molecular wanted poster from that mugshot. And finally, that wanted poster is used to guide a security protein to find and, destroy the threat on site. It's incredible.
And get this. This isn't some rare, obscure little trick. CRISPR systems are incredibly common. We find them in about 83% of archaea, which is another whole domain of single-celled life. So this is a big deal.
This really just goes to show you how powerful and unbelievably effective this strategy is. It's a constant microscopic arms race between bacteria and viruses, and CRISPR is one of the most successful weapons out there.
Okay, but what's really interesting here is the bigger picture. This whole idea of heritable immunity, acquiring a trait during your life and then passing it directly to your kids, that is a real-world, honest-to-goodness example of Lamarckian evolution. The theory that for a long time was mostly dismissed. But bacteria, they prove it's happening all the time.
Okay, let's move on to our final problem, and you'll see how this all builds on itself. So bacteria can handle external threats like food shortages and viruses. But what about the internal challenges? How do they control the inherent randomness, the noise of their own genes just randomly turning on and off?
The solution for this one is a lot more subtle. It involves a very special tool that basically acts like a noise filter for the cell's genetic circuits. And that tool is these tiny molecules called small RNAs, or sRNAs for short.
Now, to really get why this is so clever, let's just compare two different ways to keep a gene turned down. Using a traditional repressor, that can lead to these bursty, totally unpredictable results. You get long periods of silence, then bam, a big random blast of activity. But with sRNAs, you get a much smoother, steadier, more fine-tuned control. So here's how they work. These sRNAs basically create a threshold. The cell makes a whole pool of them, and for a gene to actually turn on, the on signal has to be strong and persistent enough to use up or soak up all of those sRNAs. What this does is let the cell completely ignore weak, random signals, the noise. Right, so you can literally think of them like noise-canceling headphones for the cell's genetic code. They make sure it doesn't overreact to every little bump or blip. Instead, it only responds when a signal is real, persistent, and actually important. So, okay, when you put all of this together, what you start to see is that bacteria have evolved this absolutely incredible, sophisticated toolkit for making decisions and controlling their world. I mean, think about it. They have smart switches for managing their energy efficiently. They have a self-updating genetic vaccine for fighting off viruses. And they have these sophisticated noise filters to keep everything inside stable and precise. It's a full package. But here's the thing. Understanding these incredibly elegant, ancient systems, it's not just some academic exercise. It has had and continues to have absolutely world-changing consequences. Because it was scientists taking the time to really understand that CRISPR defense system in bacteria, that's what allowed them to repurpose it. They literally took a bacterial antiviral weapon and turned it into the revolutionary gene editing technology that is fundamentally changing our world, from medicine to biology as we speak. And it all just leaves you wondering, doesn't it? I mean, if the simplest organisms on the planet can contain such sophisticated programming, what other secrets, what other game-changing technologies are still out there, hidden in the natural world all around us, just waiting for us to discover them?